Okay, thank you very much. I'm in danger of starting with two B words. Firstly, I think I'll say it's an absolute privilege to be here and to step into the huge shoes left by Bernstein. Big they are, and I congratulate him and all of you on the successes today. But it is fantastic for me to be here, and it was by choice. And there's a reason I'm here. There's the second B. I actually come from Birmingham. Apologies for the accent. Birmingham, which in many ways I think was the founding city for some of the Chamberlain type style of local governance, of which I'm a child of, not first generation, but nonetheless a child of Chamberlain, and have that huge passion for what the public sector can do in a place, no better exemplified than here in Manchester, so it's my absolute privilege to be here. I don't want to repeat all of the things that have already been said, and I completely agree with a lot of what's been said, and indeed the whole thrust of the industrial strategy. Finally, in my 400-year career, we're starting to talk about place-based industrial strategies, which give us the opportunity to knit real investment together with the needs and ambitions for a place. So I'm very pleased about that. Some points, though, that I think are missing, that maybe I'll get into some specifics that might open things up. I think, firstly, we use the word innovation too lightly. I don't think we're clear what we mean by innovation in the industrial strategy moving forward, and how we're actually going to translate innovation into tangible practice on the ground. And here in Manchester, I think we've got in GM, we've got some great examples of innovation and the home of innovation. I'm not sure that's universally acknowledged across all parts of the UK, and I think we should do more about, through our university networks in particular, really getting innovation writ large through UK PLC. I think my second point on that is creating new markets in a global economy with Brexit, and where are we on the northern powerhouse in those market growths, because otherwise we are in danger of London quite rightly protecting itself in the southeast. But I think we need to actually acknowledge that the north will need further assistance and further support to ensure that it protects its markets and indeed expands globally. A couple of success factors that I think are here that we should build upon, but again I'd like to see writ large across the whole delivery of the industrial strategy. The connection between universities and businesses. In all the cities I've worked in, I've never seen it as strong as it exists here, and I'm not just saying that because I have the privilege of being on the panel with you. I'm hugely blown away by what is a very tangible partnership here. Even with that, I think we would struggle to necessarily translate the pathways into graduates, into SMEs, into entrepreneurs, even in a place that's as successful as GM. So maybe we should be thinking about, if we're going to deliver the industrial strategy in this place, what are the gaps in it that we need to put together here? I think my second point would be, we can do all of this, but if we don't tackle inequality, if we don't do what's called inclusive growth, then actually, for the reasons Mike, I think, said and Diane pointed out, I just don't think we're going to have made the progress. We might cushion the blows, but we're not going to have made the progress that we need to make. I was really pleased that one of the things that Andy Burnham did as the Mayor of GM very early on was to launch his ambition in his manifesto around early help and school readiness, and to start right back in with putting schools at the heart of getting our young people ready for work at the end of the day. And I think there are parts of the industrial strategy that I think we could strengthen around tackling inequality, welfare reform locally. Again, we have examples of where we have done that through health and work, through tackling families with welfare reform issues. Have we done enough of this to take away the barriers for those communities who are disconnected to the employment opportunities that are going to be created? And I think we may need to push back a little more on that. I've mentioned skills and the fallout of productivity in terms of human capital, and it's prior to coming here, I led for skills in Leeds City region and the City Deal and devolution here, and the truth is we haven't had devolved influence over the skills funding arrangements in any city I've ever worked for in my career, and yet that is the number one issue that businesses repeatedly say, which is not only do we want to grow talent and innovation and future skills bases, we also want to get more traction locally on the type of skills that we want for the types of jobs we're going to create, and that whole pipeline in between. So I think there is still some to discuss on skills. I don't think we've done enough. And I guess my final point would be, I think it was the point that Mike was touching on really, and it's linked to the green paper that the core cities have put out that we've been working on, and that is to say it is through the local partnerships and local democracy that we change our systems and we can do things differently. I think we have a great opportunity at core cities here in Greater Manchester, in Birmingham, to really rethink how we as a public sector with government can rewire the support for businesses and economic growth, and I would push that that is as much a part of delivering pace-based industrial strategies as anything else. And we talk about there being 3 aspects to the delivery of the industrial strategy. Reforming the way some of our systems work that get in the way, be that regulation, be that skills. We talk about trusting us to get on with things, which I think was the point that was made earlier about we might get it wrong, but I don't know that we're the only people who get things wrong. So maybe we could be trusted to get a few things wrong. And I think the third point of all, which is where I'll end with where I started really, I think we do need still to make the case for investment in the north. We do, for UK PLC to survive, we do need all northern cities to be thriving and surviving. This isn't about those who can get a devolution deal over the lines, and I say this from my very painful years in Yorkshire, still failing to get a devolution deal over the line. The simple truth is we need all our cities to be competitive and to be effective, and we need the connectivity between our cities in the north more than ever. So I would leave it with that.
Thank you.